It's Ridge Racer! Ridge Racer!
Ridge Racer is a series that has a tradition going back to the 90s arcade systems. Developed by Namco, Ridge Racer is very known and praised by fans for its upbeat music, beautiful mountain landscapes, and of course, the drifting physics. The series got released in various consoles, having titles on Nintendo 64, PS1, Xbox 360, and the 7th installment in the franchise being released on PS3. The early Ridge Racer games were always a big selling point for PlayStation 1, but some games felt like recycled versions of the previous ones, and they started to feel the pressure of the other games in the genre. Ridge Racer 4 was a good game with some substantial improvements compared to the others in the series, but with the simcades dominating the racing game genre at the time with games such as Gran Turismo, Namco tried to get a share of this market too, releasing a spin-off of the Ridge Racer series called R Racing Revolution, but that didn't go well. The game isn't exactly horrible, but it was trying so hard to beat Gran Turismo with a quirky style to it and with some interesting visuals. Namco realized the same thing, so they went back with the series' roots in Ridge Racer 6 and 7, and got the fans very pleased with the extreme arcadey feel in the handling model. So today I'm going to be taking a look at Ridge Racer 7 specifically. It was one of the release titles of the PlayStation 3, and even though it shares some content from Ridge Racer 6, it brings some new things onto the table, adding the ability to slipstream behind the cars you are chasing, and also includes the possibility to customize your vehicles, allowing you to choose from a variety of different body kits, wheels, paint jobs, and of course you can also upgrade the car's engine, tires, and brakes, for example, adding an extra layer of depth to the game compared to the other Ridge Racers. And talking about the gameplay itself, the game has around 40 cars and 22 tracks ranging from city streets to mountain roads. At first, taking a look at Ridge State Grand Prix, it's the closest we can get to a career mode in this game. Here we can play 14 tournaments in total. By winning these events, you receive fame, money, and manufacturer points, unlocking a bunch of extra races after you complete the final Grand Prix, including some specific challenges called the UFRA single events, so there's quite a bit of content to play around with in this game. Also, you can play time attack events, manufacturer sponsor races that unlocks customizations for your cars, the online mode, which is sadly not available anymore, and obviously the classic arcade modes, so you can just choose whatever car and track you like the most and just have fun. Although the first games weren't that complex or deep, Ridge Racer 7 changed that a bit. Of course, if you're looking for a more casual gameplay, the arcade mode will make you satisfied, just like the franchise always did, with the car physics and the incredible soundtrack, providing a more chill experience overall. But if you want some challenge, the progression system of the career mode will do you just fine. Well, if you're not really used to arcade games like these, you'll have a hard time at the start until you learn how the car will behave on the track. It's a little hard not to oversteer sometimes at the first races. Maybe it can feel like you're not in control of the vehicle, but once you get the hang of it, the wild and heavy drift style show the potential that the game has to offer. Cars have different classes. The driving feels really different in each one of them. The mild one is more grippy and doesn't go too crazy around the curves, but it's also not the fastest one. Dynamic is the easiest one to drift with, and standard makes a balance between the other two, allowing you to experiment and find the one that best suits your playstyle. Despite the fact that the cars sound like lawnmowers sometimes, it won't really bother you because the soundtrack does a good job of keeping you entertained, complementing the fast-paced style of the game. Let's listen to some of the songs. In the release of the PlayStation 3, most developers were having a hard time delivering a game that runs smoothly and with a good resolution, but that was not the case with Namco developers in Ridge Racer 7. The game runs perfectly fine at 1080p HD, and the environments add a lot of life and depth into it. It has aged pretty nicely over the years. Overall, this game does a good job at making racing exciting and fun. Playing a game like this made me realize how diverse the racing game genre was back then. And it also is a shame how the franchise ended in such a disappointing way. After the release of Ridge Racer 7, we only got poorly made versions for mobile and the bad Burnout wannabe that totally killed the characteristic style of the series. The current state of Ridge Racer represents the end of an era. It's sad seeing one of the most revered arcade racing game series simply disappearing. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, a like and a subscribe helps out the channel a lot. And shout out goes to all the Patreon members that support the channel. If you want to support my content, that is the best way to do so. So check out the link in the description. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you lads in the next video. Peace.